So guys, here I got an excellent clip of NIO CEO explaining why he believes that NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto can all survive. All right, and before I roll that clip, I'm also going to be talking about how I see things going forward in terms of what's happening with NIO here in China and my perspective on things, some of the achievements they've gotten. All right, so first, let's watch that clip.
I believe Wei Xiaoli and others can survive and even thrive in this industry. It's true that Xiaopeng has been working particularly hard lately. I feel this is part of the price they have to pay in their growth process.
Li Auto has actually gone through many adjustments over time.
From when he started with that small car to now when he's making vehicles that can sell 50,000 to 60,000 units, including pure electric vehicles and other products. You'll find that ultimately, when it comes to product thinking, everyone tends to converge on similar ideas. Why do I think they can all survive? This relates to one of my fundamental beliefs. I don't view the auto industry as a winner-takes-all market, and that's the most crucial point. If you believe the auto industry is winner-takes-all, your approach would be completely different. If you don't see it as winner-takes-all, you can be more comprehensive and think long-term.
So he believes all NIO, XPeng, Li Auto, they can all survive and even thrive because of their individual market segments. And while I do have to agree with that, I think there's a very big market for battery swap. There's also a very big market for EREVs, all right? It's gonna persist and it's going to last a very long time. And just take a look at this clip of a Tesla Model 3 going on a very, very rural highway. There aren't any charging stations there, so you have to strap a generator on the back to charge the car. And that's exactly what EREVs are, right? You got an electric car with built-in generator and a gas tank. So that is exactly what an EREV is. But it just shows that even though we think this is counterintuitive, it's really stupid, dumb to have to still use gasoline to power the car, but there's still that market, there's still that need. So, you know, when it comes to all these companies, all right, they're all going to make it. And for NIO, there's always going to be a very strong need for a electric vehicle that can quickly replenish its battery and not have any battery problems. And speaking of battery problems, all right, we've seen like lots of other vehicles do have like a self-immolation problem. All right, it just catches fire by itself, and that also extends to even like the new Xiaomi SU7, BYD, etc. These guys, all right, especially BYD, they got quite a few of those going on, you know, and EREVs as well. They got quite a few of those going on. But I'm happy to tell you that for NIO, all right, after 2019. I'm happy to report that there have been, like, so far, none that I'm aware of self-immolation, all right, where it just catches fire by itself. The battery pack goes haywire and it catches fire by itself. None of that. But prior to 2019, there was a battery design flaw, and that caused the folding to be wrong inside the battery pack, and that caused it to catch fire. But that was before. Nowadays, there are no battery-related fires just by itself, all right? Like the car's parked there and then it just catches fire. No, that doesn't happen. There were accidents like high-speed collision and then you get fire, but that's because of a collision, all right? So I'm pretty happy to report about that. And also what's really interesting is battery swap station fires, all right? There's actually only like 1 in 1,000 chance of a battery swap station fire. There's only 2 battery swap station fires that I know of. And one of the battery swap station fire was very interesting. It was because a NIO had a damaged battery, right, for some reason. And this is very heartwarming, all right? And NIO called the NIO owner. They detected that there was an issue with the battery and then told him to go swap that battery ASAP. And after the swap, in less than 10 minutes, that battery caught on fire. So it just really shows that NIO cares about its owners at the expense of a battery swap station, all right? And I guess it would be much better for them to make that move of, you know, not having that customer suffer that car being burned down rather than having that swap station burned down. I mean, as a NIO owner, I'd rather see that happen. But of course, from an investor's perspective, a battery swap station would be a lot more expensive, right? That's yeah, a lot more expensive than a car itself. But at the same time, the media attention that you would get if you have like a car that burned up, that would be pretty bad. All right. So in that aspect, yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. There's only been 2 swap station fires that I know of. Okay, so pretty low chance. And then also, what about battery swap malfunctions? Battery swap malfunctions is also very interesting. And guys, you know, I report the good and the bad, so make sure to smash that like button. All right, so battery malfunctions, pretty much every NIO is going to encounter it once or twice. All right, the battery gets stuck. I've done about 240 swaps. I've encountered it twice. First time was when there was heavy snow and it was blocking the sensor, and then it got stuck, and that was kind of expected. All right, it was blocking the sensors. And then the second time was when again the bolts froze because of it was very cold as well, and the technician was manually unscrewing the bolts, and he damaged the threading, and I was unable to do battery swap until I drove the car in to repair, get it replaced, get the bolts replaced. That took some time, but you know, that's also problem was easily solved. And what's very apparent is that everybody sort of experiences it like once or twice. It's sort of like a 1% chance event. All right, it was a 1% chance event. It does kind of suck when it does happen to you, but it seems like everybody just encounters it once or twice. Once or twice in 100 swaps, and that's relatively low, and I'm pretty happy about the success rate. 99% success rate, 98% success rate, that's pretty low. All right, and some people, most of the time, it's just they go swap, and then they might have a system error. All right, and then they can't proceed with the battery swap, and then they might have to wait for a technician or something like that. I've seen in some of our NIO chat groups, there were sometimes some NIO owners do a battery swap and then it's stuck. They gotta wait 40 minutes for the technician. That's kind of, you know, inconvenient. But if they got something urgent to do, they just leave the car there and then they take a taxi. But it is extremely rare. Like I said, 1% out of 100. So that by itself, I'm pretty satisfied. Whereas comparatively to chargers, all right, a lot of chargers actually don't work. Right? And for most of the time with charging, it's just hit or miss. All right, you park your car there at the charger, you try to charge, and even for like those government chargers, all right, I'm talking about the Chinese state grid charger. I went on a road trip this one time, and then there were these 5-6 charging piles, and there were no swap stations nearby, so I had to charge. And only one of them worked. All the others had some issue, and it's just you know, so inconvenient to have the car plug it in and then realize it doesn't work. All right, either the machine doesn't work or the QR code doesn't work, and then you gotta unplug it, move the car to the next spot, all right, and then charge it, and then realize it charges for 2 seconds and then it stops. I've endured all that, all right, and I can say I'd rather endure a battery swap being stuck than just having to figure out which charger works or which charger doesn't work, and then have to stumble across. And then even if I do find the right charger, it might not even charge at the proper speed and take me like an hour, 2 hours to wait to charge. So at the end of the day, I mean, I'm still pretty happy with my ownership experience with a NIO. And ultimately, down the line, you know, people are going to be buying NIO's cars, and even though they're incurring heavy losses, $700 million a quarter, you know, it seems quite freaky. There's always going to be money. All right, NIO's always going to be able to convince investors, outside investors, to pour money into the company because of the technology NIO has, what they offer, and NIO CEO is a master of getting money. He can get money under a rock, under a tree, in the desert, Abu Dhabi. So he's able to get money anywhere. So in that aspect, you know, there's going to be very strong support for NIO when it comes to funding. And NIO does indeed need these fundings to be able to grow and scale the business at a very fast pace. All right. So it's kind of expected. But like he said, there will always be a market for NIO. NIO will indeed survive. All right. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.